Really?
Oh, I saw, but I
East of Sun was madness.
I saw the place was. Just take good care of the steps.
No, when I was starting was from here.
This is the Lugogo Obua. That now brings me to the management of public life.
First we look at where we are going. We have
This is where they rent and they pay council money. Out of the budget which has been talked about, the non-tax revenue, we have a projection of 1.5 billion. But annually we have been collecting between 900 to 1.1 billion. So all these facilities, that is what brings the cost of the government service. No.
Sorry.
They open a bid and they are the one they tender for 3 years. So he's supposed to renovate and make it like Cooper Chimney in terms of delivery and expectation. So any moment from now we shall be seeing this another Cooper Chimney to cut off for the interest of the tennis players. How much? But there's a way they're going to do it. That's nice. He actually got money for 11. When here they're going to cut through, connect it to the
Silvano?
Okay?
That was smart.
This is smaller. Staff quarters, then the hostel, then you will see, you come down, then you continue. Is it open? How are you? What are you doing? What did you promise? Our flag will be with you.
Hello, how are you?
Honourable Minister, I hope the team leader is just there. You can say something about this team, to this team. 1 minute.
So this is the under 21 team preparing for Africa Football Trials for World Cup this year. And the tournament is due in May from 4th to 7th May. And it's going to be hosted by Uganda and it's going to be here in this arena.
All right, thank you so much. I am the new sport. Exercise that God given talent to the best of your ability and market yourself as you also help us market your country. Call what? Uganda. All right?
This is a step, but we hope this year we shall identify ourselves as a potential sponsor to renovate. Actually, the council has a choice because the men who wants to come and renovate.
So this is what was the problem?
The capacity is what?
700.
Basketball.
Webalirambula kizimbe.
Honourable Minister, I want to show you the other additional office block which is housing South Federation. Although you come officially. You can pass here. This is another training ground. Our minister will not going in because we have a special meeting. But this is one of the facilities of the council. They pay us money. Every year they pay once for 2 years. And this also revenue to council. So it's a good to the council. And we will arrange a meeting with them and pay courtesy. So all these complaints with the Doctor,
Are you a trespasser?
the minister wants to come officially. So we want to stop at the gate.
Landlord.
We want to say as landlord. But it doesn't stop you from the...
I should be back officially. Yes.
You can't bring the minister when you're not paying.
He's processing.
You have the police.
He's processing.
All right, thank
Fine,
you.
thank you.
How's everything?
Not bad. Yes.
How's everything going?
We're here having a feel of...
When the landlord comes, we are worried.
No, we want to stay outside. We don't want to
jump in here.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
How's everything?
We're fine. The Honourable Minister will arrange a special meeting with you here.
Okay. No,
We have agreed on that.
We're having our weekly meeting, but everything is...
Okay. So I'll wait for you tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
About his vision for what he would love to see in the sports subsector change. Considering that we've all been down there and listened to the chairman and the general secretary, we're going to only have the minister speak, and then thereafter,
Also pass the floor to the media.
That you have seen here at the National Council of Support, are they in good state?
we take all of them?
Yes.
Yes, Brian Kawalia from Sports Nation. Peter Kanyike, you want to ask a question from Bukedi.
Yes, Minister, in terms of
Question number one was on what I have observed in terms of sport facilities, because this is the National Council of Sports. Before I answer, let me just give a background to this tour and to this visit. This tour was cleared on the permission and on the delegation of the Minister of Education and Sports, the Honorable Mama Janet, who officially commissioned me as the State Minister for Sports in the Ministry of Education and Sports, spearheaded by her, to conduct what you are witnessing. For today, it's a tour, and it was meeting members of staff of National Council of Sports and members of board. Tomorrow, we will be back here again for and on our behalf, under the law, to conduct the National Sports Forum, which is under the 2014 NCS regulations, where we'll be meeting under the 2014 regulations. So I bring greetings from my team leader, the Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, the Honorable Mama Janet. On the question, I have observed that there is a need for investment in revamping our sports facilities, starting with the National Council of Sports, which, in my opinion, is a body established by law, established through an act of parliament, and charged with clear responsibilities. But I also want to observe that in my interaction with the board and management, I have come to know that National Council of Sports has an investment plan. First of all, they have secured 16 acres of land where NCS currently sits. There is a certificate of title to that effect, and that presupposes that National Council of Sports is the legitimate owner of the 16 acres of land. So they can, through their investment plan, be able to engage both government and private actors in developing this facility. And they have indicated that they have an investment plan. So that is my observation, that our sports facilities would either call for a total overhaul, or the existing one can be facelifted to better standards. Number two is asking whether we are hoping to increase, others are getting little. We will be able to adequately delve deeper into the aspect of funding for the respective federations tomorrow during the National Sports Forum meeting. But when you look at developed countries, sports is majorly handled by the private sector. We are happy that government, in the case of Uganda, is giving a helping hand, is taking on the responsibility of supporting the respective disciplines. We will be discussing tomorrow 3 critical options for federations to look for resources in running their respective activities. One, we are looking at government of Uganda, public funds, that is from the National Treasury. That is option number 1. Option number 2, we have been guided by the senior minister that it is important for us to look at corporate sponsorship, because government has put in place a conducive atmosphere that has attracted investors of different categories. Many of them have already demonstrated will to support different disciplines in sports. We will have to engage them. 1, to thank them, and 2, to attract more to take on the various sporting disciplines that are existing. That is aspect number 2 under funding, corporate sponsorship. You are aware that most of them have invested in Uganda and not in Somalia. When you ask them why don't you go and invest in Somalia? The answer is clear, that Somalia is not as stable as Uganda. So now that we have given you an opportunity, we are also calling upon them to come up and support and complement and supplement the efforts of government in funding of the different sporting disciplines. Number 3, you are aware that some federations get grants from international organizations or international federations. So it is a 3-lined source. 3 different lines, 3 different sources where we can be able to put our houses into order. And we can be able to do that. And we will do it. I'm saying we because it is not I. It is about we. Both at national ministry, NCS, and all of us as stakeholders. In the OSPA meeting, briefcase federations, there are definitely challenges. But as much as the federations are also advocating and lobbying for government to give more funding, what is your status? What are you doing? Ask not what Uganda can do for you, but first of all, what you can do for Uganda. Seek first the kingdom of God, and the rest shall be added unto you. You are a national federation bearing the name of Uganda. That presupposes your activities, first of all, is national. But you do not have an office. I think the starting point would be to help them build capacity, to help them in terms of offices. Some of them are housed within NCS arena. But really, to have a national federation that does not have a point of contact is a bit unfair. It's a bit unfair, but I think we owe them a duty of care to help them in securing a home where they can be found. In the event that you attract corporate sponsorship and your corporate sponsors are coming to visit you to do an assessment of your human resource capacity and you don't have an office, you will definitely miss that. So we will do all it takes together with them to ensure that we help them to get housed somewhere such that when the vision and the missions are getting implemented, they are where they can be found. Because for a corporate sponsor to fund activities of a national federation that does not have an office, for government of Uganda to fund activities of a national federation that does not have an address, where will the auditors from Auditor General go when they come to do audit under the National Audit Act? Because they will be using resources from the consolidated fund. So we will sit with them. I also intend, under the guidance of the senior minister, to pay courtesy calls to offices of all the 50+ accredited and registered national federations. They will be the ones to tell me, no, Honorable Minister, we do not have an office. But I will give myself time to go to all their offices one by one and discuss with them the challenges that they face. The plan for upgrading infrastructure, I have already indicated that the fact that they already have an investment plan for this arena. This is for here. For others, like Mandela National Stadium, we will be able to discuss with them. Others, like Nachivuvu, we will be able to discuss with them. I think for today, we are restricting ourselves to National Council of Sports. A stadium like Mandela National Stadium must be run as a commercial vehicle. The responsibility of government is to ensure that we, for instance, for now, facelift it. But in subsequent years, Mandela National Stadium must be able to generate resources and be self-sustaining. For now, we will have to lobby, we'll have to advocate to government to ensure that the land is fenced, the stadium is facelifted. It may not come today, it may not come tomorrow, but looking at that stadium, you would agree with me that in the preliminary, you need to secure that land from encroachers. In the preliminary, you need to facelift that stadium. It requires huge sums of money for handling the two. But in future, Mandela National Stadium, just like we have heard the story of NCS, they are generating some resources from here that is able to make them meet some of their needs. On the issue of the 11 sporting disciplines, I did not talk about the sporting disciplines. I talked about 11 international sporting activities for the calendar year 2020, where Team Uganda must, as a matter of necessity and representation, participate in those 11 disciplines. They are here. It emanates from the Olympics 2020, the East African Community Games, where we have a number of disciplines. Number 3 is football, CHAN. 4 is boxing, Olympic qualifiers. 5 is swimming. 6 is rugby. 7 is badminton. 8 is weightlifting. 9 is volleyball. 10 is dragon boat. And 11 is Paralympics. These are 11 international sporting activities earmarked where Team Uganda, where Government of the Republic of Uganda, where the various disciplines, a country called Uganda, which is our nation, should be represented. I did not talk about 11 sporting whatever. I talked about the 11 activities, sporting activities at international level. The plan for Paralympics and plan for Olympics, I believe we are aware that we are participating in all these activities, as stated here. Olympics is number 1 here. Paralympics is contained. So I can only say that the respective heads of the respective disciplines must be putting into order. But in terms of Olympics, I was informed here that one, Team Uganda is there to participate in the disciplines where we have qualified. I was informed that prior booking has also been done for Team Uganda. So I can comfortably say that preliminary preparations are being done stage by stage to set the stage for Team Uganda to participate in the Olympics and Paralympics. The plans we have is not only for Olympics and Paralympics. We have plans for all sporting disciplines, but we would want to appeal to them to help us to help themselves in terms of where we want to go. The resource envelope and how it is going to be shared, is it going to be performance-based? I told you that famous verse in the Bible, that seek first the kingdom of God. As you plead for more resources, what is it that you are delivering first with the mega resources? NCS is already developing what we are calling a funding policy. To me, as a minister, all sporting disciplines are our priority. But the priority within the priority will be given to you who has set the stage, who looks organized, who has performed and given us some pride. It will be to you who has capacity to absorb the resources that will be given to you. That will be part and parcel of how you will get resources. But if you're a briefcase federation, you're expecting government to give you 1, 5, 10, 40 billion, how is it going to be managed? Where is your human resource manual? Where is your investment plan? Where is your strategic plan? Where is your vision? Where is your mission? You must be able to guide us. That seated here, our vision in badminton is this. Our vision in rugby is this. But all sporting disciplines will be our priority. Of course, the President of the Republic of Uganda and the Commander-in-Chief and the Head of State has guided on what he calls priority sports. Priority sports, in my opinion, is meaning where Uganda has comparative advantage, where Uganda has a niche. So as we lift them, we will also be lifting others to reach where they are. He has guided, and you know, he's the head of state. He is the national vision bearer. You cannot have any other authority more than him. But we appeal to all other sporting disciplines that they are priority to us. But priority will be given within the priority. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. You are planned to spend here in the morning till mid-afternoon, and hopefully the word that you've given is passed on to the millions by the media team that is here. I'd love to call this event to a close.